is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I bring you guys a brand new Pokemon Sword and Shield rumor / leak video today. I take like a week off from Pokemon content and everyone loses their mind over the National Dex, man. It has been absolutely insane to see the outrage for bringing back National Dex, but hey, you do you, my friends. But we're going to talk about some Sword and Shield rumors. Another post got posted, this time on Reddit, talking about some pretty interesting stuff regarding the upcoming Sword and Shield games. Now, just to kind of lay the foundation for those who aren't aware, there is a leak that has kind of been circulated now for a couple weeks. It actually came out prior to the Direct that revealed a bunch of different Pokemon. It correctly predicted a couple things that were then revealed at E3. So we are kind of moving forward, assuming that this post behind me here, or right there, is actually true. So I'm gonna just kind of very briefly recap this before we jump into kind of the next post, which is referencing this one. So just so everyone knows, but be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe if you guys are new for daily Pokemon content, or at least somewhat daily right now, because you know I've been doing some other things. But don't worry, Pokemon fans, I'm still gonna be doing Pokemon. Don't worry, man. I love Pokemon. Don't stress it. Anyway, I'm just gonna really summarize this super quickly. This guy came out, he made this post and accurately predicted or knew a lot of different things. He knew about the Dynamaxing before it was revealed something called Gigantamaxing, which is apparently like a better form of Dynamaxing that kind of changes the form of the Pokemon. Talked about Sonia and Leon and Hop, the rival. Talked about a couple things like Sirfetch'd getting an evolution. Talked about some other Chipmunk Pokemon, which we've seen on t-shirts that haven't been revealed yet. Talked about Yamper, which is of course the new electric Corgi Pokemon that has been confirmed. Talked about a couple of the different gym leaders. Milo, which we've seen, that helps you, you have to herd the sheep Pokemon Wooloo. We've also seen Nessa, the new water type gym leader. So a lot of things like that, right? And then it also mentions Kabu, requires you to catch Pokemon to get 5 points, yada yada yada. That's the gist right there. So I just wanted to kind of cover this here. Again, I've made a couple videos about this post here, so nothing too crazy, nothing new. But we do have this post here, and a lot of people have been kind of hitting me up. They're like, aDrive, we got to see you cover some more rumor videos. Where are they? Here you go. So this one's posted on Reddit, and this one said, my previous post got deleted somehow, so I'm posting this again. A really close friend of mine has been working on Sword and Shield for a couple years. After he finished work on Ultra Sun and Moon, he switched over to this new project. I haven't played the game myself, but he shared with me some confidential information. Okay, alright, you got my attention. Let's take a read here. Everything mentioned in the leak that got posted on 4chan back on May 24th is true, so I will not go over these points again. I will only cover the new information and some overlaps. So that's what we just talked about. That's why I wanted to kind of set the foundation for you guys. So this is going to say that there's 96 new Pokemon, 19 Galar variants, and 42 Gigantamaxing forms. So this is, we can pretty much assume everything can Dynamax at this point, but there's 42 Gigantamaxing forms, and among the rumors, we've seen Meowth, we've seen Pikachu, we've seen Lapras, in kind of the leaks, I should say, really. 19 Galar variants, so I'm not sure if that means like instead of an Alolan form, you get a Galarian form. That actually would be really cool. And 96 total new Pokemon, which sounds like a pretty good number. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, I think as you get to about the, I personally wasn't expecting like 150 or anything like that. So I think 96 sounds pretty decent. Wooloo has 2 different evolution forms. They can be triggered depending on which weather you are at the moment they reach their evolution level. Very interesting. I don't know, we've only had a handful of Pokemon that evolve from weather. One of which that comes to mind is Sliggoo, evolving in rain to evolve into Goodra. So, very possible that there could be some sort of weather kind of differences there, and it seems as though weather is going to have a pretty important part of this game. We've seen in the wild area, the weather is very drastically changing. We've seen that Dynamaxing Pokemon and their attacks can actually change the weather, so I wouldn't be too surprised there. Very cool. I'm not exactly sure. I guess sheep have kind of reaction to like stormy weather and stuff like that, so perhaps there's some reasoning there, but that's pretty interesting, this idea that Wooloo would have split evolutions, one based on one type of weather, one based on another type of weather. That could actually be kind of cool. Exclusive for the starter's 3rd form, they'll have a slight visual differences based on gender. This does not affect gameplay. That I wouldn't be surprised about, actually. That could be really cool, especially since in the past we've seen things like Primarina, which is a very feminine-like design, Incineroar, a very masculine-like design, Chestnut, a very masculine-like design. Not that we need to, you know, emphasize any specific definitions for masculine and feminine. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if they went that route and decided to have some different gender differences. Not a big deal. A lot of Pokemon actually have gender differences. Something like Mamoswine, for example, has longer tusks when it's a male, and we see that in the wild, right? Males and females in the wild and different creatures have some gender differences. So that would actually be really cool if the third form of the starters did have gender differences, so they weren't so polarized towards either being, like I said, masculine or feminine. Camping, which is a feature that we've seen briefly. We've seen Froakie in front of the camping tent, which is supposed to replace like Pokemon Refresh, Pokemon and Me. It can only be performed at different wild areas and will offer gameplay connectivity with Pokemon Sleep. Player can assign, well, this kind of makes some sense because I think Pokemon Sleep seemed like super ambiguous, just like a lot of question marks regarding Pokemon Sleep. But the player can assign one of their Pokemon to the camping tent, sends them to Pokemon Sleep, bringing them back to the app will reward the player with unique items, feeds back to the overall camping gameplay, but it can also improve chances to your Pokemon attack first during the next few battles. That makes sense, kind of some Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Refresh type of deal. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a tie into Pokemon Sleep. That makes sense. Again, a lot of ambiguity around Pokemon Sleep. Don't really know a ton about it yet, other than the fact that you're going to sleep and have some sort of tracking going on. Very strange, but if it ties into the game, that would make a lot more sense. Breeding and eggs are back in the game, not surprising. However, a new type of egg will be available. This is to tie with the incubators and hatching eggs in Pokemon Go. You can use the Pokeball Plus, which is confirmed to have connectivity. The player can only for external use, not as a controller. The player will be able to connect this type of egg to the device and walk around in real life, and they increase the time needed to hatch. Hatching only happens in Sword and Shield. So you can make Pokemon hatch faster through the Pokeball Plus. I only see this being a good feature if you can hatch like 100 eggs at once, right? Because like, who hatches just one egg though? You know what I'm saying? Like, unless your chance of getting a shiny or something is multiplied by like a crazy multiplier, there's no reason for me to throw an egg in there. Although in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, apparently you get like absurd amounts of rare candies, so I don't know. Eternatus, which is from the previous leak, the third legendary, so you got Zamazenta and Zacian, will be revealed later in the game, and this encounter will occur in the raid boss format. This I can believe, where the player will have to Gigantamax their legendary for the first time. So that tells us that your Zacian or your Zamazenta can Gigantamax, not just Dynamax, to be able to beat and capture Eternatus, saving him from darkness. Eternatus will not have a Gigantamax form though. This is weird to me, I'll be honest, saying that, you know, Zacian and Zamazenta are gonna have Gigantamax forms, but then Eternatus does not. Okay, weird. Time-limited raid boss events will be available in the game, where Game Freak provides unique encounters with some of the most popular Pokemon. This I actually believe. We've actually seen this kind of come up a few times now that we've seen these Dynamax battles. It would be incredible if they added, like Pokemon Go has found an amazing formula that every few weeks or every other week they're releasing a new event with new raids and new shinies and whatever else, and getting people to open that game again. And that is the one thing I think that Pokemon really needs to hit a home run with, is finding ways to encourage people to pick up that game again months down the road. And we know this whole bring back National Dex thing has been causing riots, and maybe I'll touch on that in another video. I definitely think it would be pretty interesting to see some sort of an event to bring back some other Pokemon that maybe either are in the game or aren't in the game or whatever. Like, I saw another rumor that said that Torterra was going to be one of the first events, and Torterra probably wouldn't be in the game otherwise, but then Torterra's in it, and then all of a sudden you open up that whole evolution line. You have a, you know, a few day window to go and, you know, Dynamax battle against Torterra as a raid in the Pokemon wild area, and then that could be kind of a cool way to introduce Pokemon every few weeks, and then everyone's happy, right? Because you get all the Pokemon again. This is where things get a little weird. I'm gonna preface this by saying this part is a little strange. It's not so crazy that I don't believe it, but it's a little strange. There are 8 gyms in total that happen in a linear manner. Every gym or every badge the player collects is added to the gold ring device, which we've seen, that serves a display of what the player has earned thus far. Collecting all 8 badges forms a key made of the gold ring device that is used to access the Elite Four building at the north of Galar. Okay, we're good there. After the Elite Four, the player has to use this key one more time to get access to an elevator that leads to the champion located at the top of the Crystal Tower. However, on the way to this elevator, the player is surprised by a pack of hyena-looking Pokemon that is running away from Team Yell. This encounter makes the player lose their gold ring device and all of the badges. Player has to head back to Professor Magnolia's lab to receive a new gold ring device and collect the badges all over again. The second time around, players can collect badges in any order. Gym Masters will be stronger, and their Pokemon team composition is mostly new and or evolved. So this is saying that they're forcing you, before you take on the Elite Four, to essentially battle all the gyms again that are actually buffed this time. Much stronger. You can battle them in any order, and it kind of adds, in some ways, not necessarily replayability, but more length to the game. I have a very hard time believing this. Is it outside the realm of what Pokemon would do? No, not really. Like, we've seen instances of having to re-challenge trials in Sun and Moon, in Ultra Sun and Moon rather. We know that battling gym leaders again is something that's happened quite a bit, but it seems really weird to me that all of a sudden, like, you lose all your badges and then you got to do it all again. Not, like I said, not outside of the realm of possibility, just a little weird. Expected new Pokemon Direct in mid-August where Game Freak reveals Team Yell, 3 new Pokemon, and the next gym leader Kabu. So a lot of these things are tied directly to the previous leak. And then I want to keep suspense for a bit longer, but I can confirm that all those fake confidential concept arts for the starters last form, one of them, of one of the starters, was actually real. So that's saying that there is a real starter evolution out there floating around, and eventually, I love this guy's name, it's Lickitung, I love it. But that's some pretty interesting stuff there. When I kind of take a step back and review it all, do I think this is real at its core? Nah, I don't know, man, probably not, to be honest. Like, there's definitely some things in here that could be real. The thing that really tosses me off is this one. I just have a hard time believing that you're just gonna lose all your badges and then you're gonna have to do them all again. But I'm not gonna throw it outside the realm of possibility, if I'm being honest, because again, it is something that I could see them doing, although it'd be a little bit weird. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, man. I do think the Wooloo thing is pretty cool. There's some stuff in here that seems like it could definitely be legit. But, you know, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to go out and say that this is real just yet. But I do think we're going to get some Pokemon information news soon. You know, when we go back to the Sun and Moon reveal cycle, they had stuff every few weeks. There may be something this week. There's supposed to be an event going on, I believe, Friday. Not guaranteed anything new, but very close. Maybe. And then we're actually getting information on Pokemon Masters on Thursday. I guess it would be Wednesday in the US. So pretty interesting stuff. So there is new stuff coming soon. But I figured I'd cover this one. I thought this was pretty interesting. A couple people sent it to me, so I wanted to get your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new. I'm going to get the heck out of here. My name is Dan. I'll go by aDrive. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.